Last week I said, 2 weeks ago I said that I'm going to turn my game made for a game jam into a full game released on Steam. And today we're going to start this whole journey with the devlog part 0. Why 0? Well, I've just noticed that many YouTubers start their devlogs with messing around and starting to make their game straight away, but I believe that it's a bad idea, because if you don't have an exact plan of what you are going to do, then your devlog and the game itself will turn from a casual single-player game for mobile devices into a multiplayer RPG with AAA graphics in only 5 videos or something like that, So that's why in this video we're going to do something that nobody really does usually: game design documents. If you've never even heard about it, well, that sounds... Why are we still here? But anyways, that's what we're going to do today. My name is AtymTIma, and let's begin. So, if you don't have an idea of what the game design document is, it is a document that describes the overall plan of your game, so that you and your teammates, if you work with someone, will have a shared idea of what the game is supposed to be and what features it should include, and etc, etc. And if you're working alone, it doesn't mean that you don't need this kind of document, because it really helps you to not keep distracted by different ideas which come to your mind throughout the development, and you will just focus on what you were planning to do from the very beginning. Okay, let's start with the most simple step, the name. By the way, if you don't know, this is a game I made for a game jam, and I'm going to expand this game. So if you haven't seen those videos, check it out first and then return back. But basically it was called Control and Roll, but since I don't need this part with control anymore, since it's not a game jam and I don't want to use control in my game, I'm going to remove it and name it Control, like usual control. I think it's a little bit too long for a name, at least for me. So that's why I'm going to maybe change it to Roll Control for now. I'm sure I will change it later, but for now I'm fine with this name. Description. So basically I don't really need to describe what the description is, because it describes itself. So I think in my case this is okay, I think it's a good idea to start with generalizing the genre of your game. So basically it's a 2D puzzle game where you play as a toilet roll, not you poo, that cleans up the room from the evil poops, but the roll has limited number of moves and turns. I will probably change it later, but for now I'm fine with this description. Now let's talk about the tagline. And if you don't know what the tagline is, it's, at least in my understanding, catchy and compelling one-liner, a phrase. It's a clickbait. Because description is something that describes your game in detail, but tagline is just a simple sentence that need to catch the attention of your potential players, and then if they're interested they will click on your game and read the full description. Basically your tagline needs to leave the impression of what this game is, and the description should answer this question. So in the case of my game, I think it's a good idea to use the comedic elements, because, well, let's be real, there are not so many games related to collecting poops and playing as a toilet roll. So I think if I use this as my tagline and also make it absurd, I think it will work out pretty fine. Wait a minute. So what is the best clickbait for a game about toilet roll? I think I know the answer. Help the toilet roll to save the city from the alien invasion of poops and find its true meaning of its life. So basically tagline is this fancy cinematic trailer that big companies put first to catch the attention of all of us and make us like, oh, this is going to be the best game ever, and then they release a gameplay trailer and this is basically a description. The next one is USP, also known as unique selling proposition. So what is the unique selling proposition, you want to ask? Google it. Why you are asking me? Okay, just kidding. So basically, if the tagline asks the question what this game is, and description answers to this question. The unique selling proposition is the element that answers to the question, so what? Why do people want to play this game? What makes this game stand out? Basically the identity of your game that makes it unique and different from all the other 1,000 games that exist in the world. And it doesn't mean that your game should be really unique in a way that it discovers a whole new genre and introduces a new mechanic never seen before. It can be just a copy of a Snake game. And by the way, my game is not a copy of a Snake. Don't ever tell me this. Ever. I will ban you. Forever. Once again, I think it's a good idea to focus my USP on the fact that I'm making a game about the toilet roll and collecting poofs, basically. So let's write some ideas for our unique selling proposition. So basically toilet roll versus alien poops. On the other hand, even if some people find it funny and hilarious that you play as a toilet roll that collects paper, collects poops, it's also true that this feeling won't last forever and you should propose something else. It's like if you were watching the movie and it shows you extremely smart and creative cliffhanger and you're like, oh cool, I want to see what's next, but there is nothing next and you just lose all your interest. So in my case, I want to mix two genres. I think adventure with puzzle element. So basically imagine Celeste, but instead of being a platformer, it would have been a top-down puzzle game where you have limited number of moves. Celeste-like top-down puzzle game. Okay, it's probably a good idea to have more ideas for a unique selling proposition, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to continue. The next step is writing your features or style. What the features or style is. So if you've ever uploaded a video on YouTube or maybe uploaded at least one game on itch.io or even Steam, you should probably know what the tags are. And even if you never did that, you probably still don't know what the tags are. These are the words that describe your game as simply as possible, so that other people with similar interest in this kind of genres and words can find your game. And it's not necessarily only the names for genre, platformer, puzzle, adventure. It's also something more simplistic as immersive, story-driven, 2D character, cute, and etc, etc. Let's start with the genre again. Puzzle. Maybe adventure. I'm not sure if the adventure is best word for my game, but suits the purpose, so let's leave it as it is. Cute, silly, fast-paced. That's what I want to achieve with my game. Is it a casual game? Probably, or not. Not sure yet. 2D, of course. Funny, maybe. And also a good idea to discover some new tags and ideas for your features is just going to your itch.io page and just uploading new projects and seeing all the tags that it tells you you can use. Right away I can see that my features are pretty good because all these words that I used, almost all of them, are near the top of this list, which means that they are pretty popular among people. It's a good idea to keep the number of your features up to 10, because if you use too much of them, like if you list all of the words from itch.io recommendation list, you will end up with a huge mess, and as a result nobody will really see your game. You should be really specific about your choice. Target audience. Let's be realistic, we all want our game to be played by
all of the people,
so that everyone will know how great your game is and how great you are. But let's be real, I can't really expect elders to play my game about the poop collection, as well as maybe most adults. Also, some people stop by telling the age of their audience, but there are many other elements that you should think of. For example, is this game something that will be played to pass some time while you're waiting for your appointment, or you're just in a bus and you just want to play a casual mobile game? Or this is something more immersive and huge as Hollow Knight, where you need to spend hours and hours trying to beat the levels? And another reason why targeting the specific audience is important is that there is always an audience that will like your game and an audience that will not. So you should find this specific audience that likes your idea, likes your game, and will play your game, and listen to their recommendations. Release date. There are many factors. One of them is seasonality. So for example, if you're going to release the game on October through December, will bring you the most revenue. But on the other hand, it's only the case if your game is something big. Because there are many AAA games from top companies that put their games on October, November and December, especially because there are so many holidays. So if you are just one person as I am, it's probably not the best idea to release your game in these months. So let's say, for example, I think that this game will take me 3 months. Then you need to add another 3 months because you always underestimate how hard your game is going to be. And let's add the elements of being a student and also the fact that I need to make the YouTube videos that usually take me like 15 hours to edit because I really like these crazy edits, which you can see in my other videos. Please watch them because I spent 15-20 hours on each one of them. So considering all these factors, I think this game will be released somewhere in February. I can even release it on 13th February and use the strategy of Deadpool to say that it's a romantic game or something like that. February to March, let's say like that for now. Why am I doing this? Okay, budget. 0. Art style. So sometimes it's hard to tell it from the beginning, but for example, in my case, I already have a prototype for my game and I know that I want to keep it as minimalistic as possible. And by minimalistic I mean I don't want to use a lot of colors and complex animations and drawings because I'm doing all of that by myself and I'm not an artist in any way. And even in this game I was using only 5 colors, which are all complementary. If you are not the artist, just use the complementary colors, they usually go well together. Complementary colors. There are many other elements which you can and need to include into your game design documents. For example, additional notes, some milestones. Actually, let's make some milestones for me. But I think it was worth it for the overall journey and this devlog, so that we all have a common ground of what this game is supposedly going to be, and maybe later I will get some recommendations from you. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate that you are here with me. If you want to see the entire journey of how I'm making this game, and as well as many other games and many other types of videos I usually make, then you can click in the link in this, then you you might consider subscribing to the channel to not miss any new devlogs or any other videos unrelated to this specific game. I'll see you in the next week.